What up, FIFA Tears, and welcome to another episode of the 3 for Tears podcast. And we are back for another episode for today as Team of the Season comes onto the horizon. And obviously, it's not the FSB creators without my co-labs in Luke and Mers. How you doing, guys?
I'm not too bad, although I do not like something that you said before we started recording about Thierry Henry, so I really don't want to talk to you, to be fair.
Oh, we're starting this early.
If you guys don't know, then yeah, I did a checklist draft. It was around my icon pack. I got a good icon in terms of value and everything, and obviously he was a legend for Arsenal. But yeah, I got moments on Henry. I've used him in game, and I don't like him. So yeah, so me and Mers will, I think, probably go head to head with our Henrys at some point. But it's safe to say that actually it would hurt one of us a lot more if we lost them. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that for now. We're here to talk about the upcoming Team of the Season. Now, the first thing that they have introduced to prepare for this is the warm-up series, which we're currently in at the moment. And there's a bunch of packs. I'm not going to go through them all, but you've got sort of your league-specific packs, and you've got your daily upgrade. You've then got another tournament placed into objectives as well, where you guys will be able to take part in a Team of the Season warm-up series to get yourself plenty of packs for Team of the Season. Yeah, I mean it's good, isn't it, guys? I mean, like we said, I think I said beforehand that generally at this point it's going to rinse everyone's clubs of all their cards and things to get these SBCs done, but surely everyone would have been doing that to get packs ready for Team of the Season anyway, I imagine.
Yeah, pretty much. There's something I'll touch on later in relation to something else that's come out today, in which Team of the Season warm-up's going to be beneficial and killing multiple birds one stone. But it's nice to see them giving out free stuff in terms of objectives on the build-up to TOTS. Yeah. And multiple choice on upgrades. People can sink a couple 100k into upgrades to allow them to have a good chance of packing players from the specific Team of the Season or after.
But one thing I would advise people to do that are listening to this, try and maybe save them for a main league than the community tots, because I feel if you save it for the community tots and the EFL tots, which should be simultaneous at the same time, I feel like you'll be a lot more disappointed with because when it comes to then that main league, you won't have many or if any packs to open up for that league, and then that just means that opportunity to try and at least have that slim chance of packing the truly big players have basically gone out the window. So my advisement would be open up the ESG packs, the one that has like all 5 leagues within that pack, and then save maybe everything else for like a main league.
Do you not think the EFIG's pack that everyone will save maybe for Ultimate TOTS?
That'd be very
that's a lot of
patience
time
required.
Yes.
It is, but it's the only time of the year, isn't it, where you've got your chance to get Team of the Season cards. So I feel like to open these during the community one would be a little bit of a waste, because you could just end up with, well, most people will just end up with 583s. I've seen some of these opened already. It's amazing that people were willing to do that, but I've seen some very, very bad ones.
So what would change that during an Ultimate TOTS or just a Community TOTS anyway? That if they're garbage anyway...
Yeah, but at least you've actually got more of a chance because you've got something special, whereas right now you haven't got anything. Community TOTS, you haven't got as many of that league. So, I mean, say... We're assuming, obviously, all of Community TOTS is going to be top 5 leagues, but it might not necessarily. So you are enhancing your chances by opening it during Ultimate, where you will have at least... I would say at least 1 or 2 from each league, potentially. We don't obviously know for sure, but it usually does happen that way, doesn't it?
Normally it's about 3 or 4.
3 or 4 of the leagues. Like,
so many.
But yeah, like Mer said, like, you know, if you're going to do your 81 times 11 Bundesliga, La Liga, etc., save them for that TOTS. Your daily login upgrades open whenever. I mean, they're not too bad packs. I did pack a Tyrone Mings. What was that one? The captain's card when I was opening it during Foot Captains. So they do seem to give out a little bit. I think I also opened one and it weirdly had like a Manuel Neuer, and I had another goalie that was really high rated. think Manuel Neuer and Casteels or something like that. So I had 2 like walkouts in one as well. So I quite like them for just 3 goals and a silver squad on top. So yeah, not bad at all. And then, like I say, yeah, with the objectives, you've just got to go into the Team of the Season warm-up series, where I believe it will be the same as before. You can play 3 a day. It's objectives.
About to say,
So
this
it's
is
not
what I
like
was,
a cup.
this is what I was
Yeah.
referring to. So to cut to the chase, you actually do it in one league, I believe. So with being done in one league, you can combo that with your icon swaps when you get to doing that to then get multiple things at once. That was the thing I was trying to save for later.
People will love that because that is generally the idea. The only thing, obviously, you have only got 3 days. This is from Monday as we record this, so 3 days, 21 hours from now. So this ends on Thursday night. So basically, be warned that if you are going to do this with your icon swaps, get them done early.
The second one does require some more specifics than just using the leagues, by the way. So it requires
French players,
5
Spanish
Spanish
players,
assists, outside the box goals, 6 finesse for French, stuff like that. It's worth looking at. Yeah, you get the good little combo packs, including a draft token, which will be useful for us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, with this, I think it's going to encourage the squad building side of things for your icon swaps to be a little bit more careful, so that you can make sure that you do make the most of getting other things done at the same time. But obviously, this is all about the lead up to TOTS, which we are now. Well, the Premier League vote was just closed this evening, right, Luke?
That is correct. So I know me and Mers have laid our thoughts on the table about the BPL TOTS. So I don't know whether you want to give a few more of your opinions live on who should make the team as just a starting 11 or anything like that.
Who should make them, or who I think will be in it?
I'll leave that up to you, whichever you want to put out there.
Because like
leave a hot take, or if you want to go for an EA prediction.
Yeah, so the one thing, as I said beforehand, that I'm very, very surprised isn't in there is Luis Diaz. So it seems like maybe some of the January transfers aren't, or all maybe even aren't being considered, which is fair enough, but I think there have been some standout players, and he's come into that side, and I feel like he has made a difference, which is the one thing that when it's a Liverpool team that have, the level they're playing at, when someone comes in and makes a difference like he has, I find it weird that he's been ignored. Maybe even, and this is a bit, maybe even over Diogo Jota. Now, Diogo Jota, don't get me wrong, has been brilliant for Liverpool, but he has tailed off a little bit.
You've just got a shocked look to camera from me.
Yeah,
you've got the Coutinho look.
He's still contributing, Diego Jota, but I think maybe that's just being overshadowed because of Diaz coming in and what Diaz is accomplishing right now. So
potentially,
that's taking the limelight off. But what I would say is I would expect what might happen is one of the January transfers happens to get a moments card instead, maybe. From the SBC section, so that's probably likely what you're going to see. So it's either going to be a Diaz or Kulusevski or something like that.
I saw actually, so one player in particular that is actually looks like he was in the vote was Rafinha. He was rumoured as a potential moments card, but he actually got into the side. Do we find that one a little bit interesting, given Leeds is?
No, he's getting an SBC card.
He's not, Mers. You can dream on with that. You can. You can just take that SBC back to what if FIFA 21. You can take that back there.
Oh, so he wasn't in the vote?
He was in the vote, yes. But Mers is specifically saying he thinks he's getting the SBC because that's his prediction for our head-to-head video.
Yes. Oh, I see.
So that's where this little infighting's come from.
As he was in the vote, I don't think he'll get an SBC. But yeah, I just find that a little bit strange that he's... So, is that... So something... I just find it a bit strange. I don't know. I get how influential he is for Leeds, but in terms of being part of Team of the Season...
Let's look at his numbers, just as a general thing, because I didn't feel too strongly on him either. Rafinha.
Yeah, I don't think his numbers are probably that spectacular, but...
10 goals, 3 assists in 30 matches.
Yeah, nothing too...
Bear in mind, Jota as an attack is 15 goals and 2 assists.
All three, right, 2 or 3, one of those.
So okay. it's not quite there on goals, but it's similar on assists, etc. And I've been a big fan of Diogo Jota this season.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Jota's stats. 15 goals in 30 matches is good, isn't it? When you think that their goals are all shared between a front line three. You know, it's not like they have an out-and-out striker that they rely to get their goals. They do tend to share them around. And that was seen actually in the fact that Mane has 14, so on the same as Diogo Jota, and then Salah with 22. So, yeah, Salah obviously leading the charge as he usually does, and he obviously takes their pens as well. Yeah, so for me, like I say, the only surprise inclusion at goalie, I don't really have a surprise inclusion. It's just that I think that it probably will be picked by whoever looks likely to win the league. So I think that'll probably be Edison. I'm glad De Gea is in there because I think Man United would have had been completely their goal conceded would be so much more if De Gea hadn't bailed out Harry Maguire.
It's more than just Harry Maguire. I mean, Harry Maguire's not good, but it's more than just Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw's had a
It's more than Harry Maguire. Yeah, I've seen like the defensive lines they've played and left backs being out of position and all sorts. They've been terrible.
Yeah, it's more than just the Harry Maguire issue. It's a general defensive issue at the moment. Luke Shaw, Tellez, to an extent, you can look at Lindelof, Mr. Tumble, if you want to go that far. He's not thrown out any particularly terrible performances for Varane, but it's not what you expect. He hasn't been
pinpointed for anything, has he?
No, it's just not what you expect from Varane, given recent times and sort of reputation that comes with being a World Cup winner and multiple-time Champions League winner.
Yeah. I would, in my opinion, what I think the defenders will be João Cancelo, Van Dijk, Ruben Diaz, and probably Trent.
Thank you for agreeing with me entirely.
Man City, I think.
Yeah.
Over Walker. Do I think? Yeah, I do think over Walker.
No, it's going to be Trent.
Midfield. This is probably where it gets more interesting because there's a lot more here. One that I would find as interesting cards, and two I think deserve them more for their club. Like Ward-Prowse for me for Southampton. Like the guy is, well, he's a free kick machine, but he's actually a workhorse. Like he just works so hard for Southampton. I don't think he'll get a team of the season because I think already looking at this, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Rodri has got a good shout. That goal the other day was phenomenal. I'm surprised to see not as many Liverpool midfielders there, actually.
Well, has there been particularly standout ones?
Thiago has probably been...
Thiago's been good. Thiago's been very good.
Yeah,
I would say that.
But Bernardo's... Yeah, Bruno Fernandes, you know, why is he there?
100%.
I
was waiting for that elephant in the room to be brought up.
Picking him because of what? Because of his name, because of his stature of last years gone by, but actually this year he's been just as at fault for, you know, the attacking side of things or the teamwork side of things. Let's say that. Let's use that word because that is where Man United have lacked this year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely think that's a surprise one. Saka's been brilliant for Arsenal. I think he's incredible. Odegaard for Arsenal, he's been very good. He's very influential, brilliant playmaker. Jared Bowen for West Ham has been incredible, and Declan Rice as well. I'll be surprised if West Ham... I know he's pledged his allegiance to West Ham for another year. I don't think it'll be any more than that. I think he'll be going...
Has he pledged allegiance for another year?
No, I thought I
saw something that he's signed till 2023.
Is that today?
Yeah, but that is... I thought he had 2 years on his deal, and that Moyes has said he's not leaving in the summer no matter what, even if he doesn't sign an extension.
What I found for the Declan Rice thing is basically it seems like he's very close to signing an extension deal, provided there's some clauses to the contract. And this is from like insiders at West Ham. It's actually on the West Ham news page.
Okay.
And it says that basically he's inclined to sign a 1 year deal, and it will either be one of two things: that he'll be given £150 a week, but he'll have $100 million buyout clause, or he'll get 200 grand a week with no release clause. So that would be what would extend his what is now currently 2 and a bit years, once the season over, 2 years left, to a 3-year contract, but it'll either be on 200 grand a week or 150 grand a week, but there'll be a 100 million buyout clause. So I suppose if for any reason someone wanted to trigger that, then yeah, he'd be able to go.
Chelsea want to trigger that desperately.
Yeah, or Man City if they wanted it, but I mean they don't really need a DM. If anyone needed a DM, it's Man United, but you know, I don't know whether that's a step up from West Ham at the moment, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but that's
with the new manager.
a hot take. Maybe with the new manager, a project.
But yeah, exactly. We've got to give Ten Hag
project.
Got to give Ten Hag a year to build whatever he wants to build, and then see what happens from there, haven't we? You can't expect him to suddenly, after one appointment and a few games, suddenly they're going to be top of the league. It's a work in progress, and they certainly need a DM. I know that a lot of people are calling out for that, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe he'll have some client, maybe a bit of bring Gravenberch or something in. Who knows? You never know. But yeah, so I think that's the midfield. I like Conor Gallagher being in there. I think again he's very influential for Palace, same as Neves for Wolverhampton. Not just his goal contributions, but the way he commands the midfield. Strikers or forwards, I should say, not strikers. The only real surprise there for me is Raheem Sterling a little bit. I know that Man City haven't played with a forward, but I would have to look at his statistics to see how much he has contributed, because for a while he was actually, like, there were talks about him calling for, like, wanting his place back in the team, because he weren't really playing games. But the rest don't surprise me. Mane, Salah, Foden, Mahrez. Tony for Brentford, again, very influential for them, has scored a lot of goals considering their league position this season.
Same as Harry Kane.
And Jota and Antonio. I think, again, if I was to choose who will get picked out of there, then I think it'll be Mo Salah. Who do I think will get the striker? Unfortunately, I think people might vote for Ronaldo, even though he doesn't, in terms of the rest of the performances of players, doesn't deserve it. I think probably Mane will get it on the left-hand side over...
Remember, it doesn't have to be specifically left, right, middle. It can just be three wingers.
Yeah.
It can be three strikers. It can be whatever.
Because I think Mahrez has been brilliant this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to do this vote, which I didn't get the chance to, I've been away for the weekend, then I would be choosing Mahrez as one of my wingers. I would go personally Mahrez, Salah, and this might be a bit of a controversial one, but I probably would go for Antonio.
Okay. Start of the season, yes.
Yeah, I know he has
fallen off.
He's gone off a little bit
drastically. Yeah. Like there's a fall off, and there's whatever happened to Mikel Antonio. I don't think I'd have to check stats, but I can't remember him scoring in the last few months.
But yeah, there's not too many surprises other than, like I say, just a couple of questionable inclusions like Bruno Fernandes for me. But you guys have already done your vote, and I believe there is somewhere to be able to view that as well.
Yeah, over on both of our YouTube channels, because it's a two-parter. So the defense, midfield, goalkeeper is on my channel. The attackers, the bench, the SBC, and the objective predictions are on Luke's channel. So make sure to check that out.
Got eight goals, 7 assists as Antonio. So he's been more of a balanced striker.
He does though, doesn't he? Sometimes, I think at the start he was playing through the middle. A lot of the last few games where I've seen him, he's been a bit more out wide and coming inside to win the ball. I don't know whether that's just a change in the way they're played in like a few games specifically against teams, or whether that's just a design on how they wanted him to play, because then they wanted Jared Bowen to get more central and Benrahma to get more central. But yeah, I've seen him use his strength to sort of win the ball out on the side and get some balls in. So maybe that's what has maybe gone off the ball a little bit in terms of his goal scoring. But yeah, contributions. 15 contributions in 32 games. It's not bad. It's not obviously elite level, but it's not bad.
He's got, since January, 2 contributions, I think.
Yeah, so he's had a very poor end.
This calendar year, he's had 3 contributions, 1 goal, 2 assists, and those came against Palace, Leeds, and Wolves. He was a very, very strong start to the season, and then he's just he's been their only striker option. So yeah, that has harmed them. Obviously, Bowen's been great on the wing, but I don't know if I'd say him for the season. It's sort of like Bernardo Silva in that way. Bernardo Silva, to a lesser extent, was incredible at the start of the season. He's still been good towards the end of the season, but it's not been the same form he started it with. Would be what I'd say.
I still feel like he's had a very good
Oh,
last few games.
he's been good, but he's not been what he was at the start of the start of the season. The man was unplayable. Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's fallen off drastically. Yeah. I'm saying compared to how hot he started the season, he was unlikely to ever keep that form up, but he's still been good throughout.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's just like his decision making, I feel like, is incredible.
Mm-hmm. The fact he was linked with an exit as
recently
it's
as crazy,
the
isn't it? It's crazy that like they basically said that they couldn't promise him like his place in the team, and I felt like maybe he like, whereas everyone thought like, oh, that might send him somewhere else, he obviously took the attitude of, well, I'm going to make sure I do own my place in this team, and here I am. Same can't be said for some of the other players in the team. I mean, like Jack Grealish I think has probably got a little bit of time to figure out where he needs to fit in that side, but yeah, he's not done brilliantly. What I want to find, what would be interesting is if they do decide to go out for a striker.
I believe haven't they already got Haaland pretty much signed up?
Have they?
I thought they'd pretty much signed him up at this point. Could be, again, a little bit off, but I swear.
Plus, also they got Alvarez coming in.
Yeah, Alvarez coming in, but I believe Haaland's almost all but confirmed.
The thing I've just found on here, it says that it seems that like Arsenal going after Gabriel Jesus because Erling Haaland is going to Man City. How do you feel about that, Mose? If that was a...
I mean, I discussed this because Luke brought that up to me, and I was like, oh, interesting. I mean, for me, I don't think it's necessarily the caliber of striker that we probably need to be going after. I think it wouldn't be too bad of an acquisition, but I think we need, in terms of how number of goals, I feel he could probably contribute per season is maybe 15.
Yeah.
But as they say, like any top 6 team or if top 4 team or any team that wants to challenge for the title needs a 20 plus goal a season striker or attacker in their team. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
You can see that obviously.
The moment you would kill for a 10 goal a season striker.
Pretty
and
much.
Again, it goes back to that thing of like where your goals are coming from, doesn't it? Like, you know, you look at like I say, some of those other teams that have got 14s, you know, across the board. Yes, Mo Salah's got more than that in that team that I'm talking about there, but that's because obviously, like I say, he is penalty taker in that as well. But if you were talking about open play goals, like across contributions, it's nicely evened in the teens. If you had that wouldn't be so bad, would it? If you had, you know, Jesus scoring you 13, 14, you got Saka scoring you 12, 13, you know, around that mark, and you're getting Odegaard score 8, 10, you know, it's a bit different if you've got goals being scored from everywhere.
Yeah, but I think in certain games, like that proper like Aguero, Thierry Henry, your Rooney's, you know, those sort of caliber players, that when there's that critical game where you need such a top class striker that knows where to be at the right moment to either find space or draw defenders away to then like open it up for likes of Saka or something like that. That's the type of thing that we would need. Now, will Gabby Jesus probably bring that to the team? I can't say that I could see that from him. But then the problem is who to go for.
Yeah, the one thing I think is interesting now, we've gone a little bit off topic of TOTS, but one thing I think is interesting there is to sort of, you know, if they're going to look to go out and buy a striker, they're also then getting rid of essentially what is their backup striker, and that seems weird because you're not going out and getting a striker, you're replacing your striker with a striker that is going to play more.
Alvarez is coming in from River Plate, isn't he? So they got 2 strikers.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They'd already agreed to sign him in January, didn't they?
They signed him and then sent him back on loan for the season. Yeah. So he's coming in the summer.
He's that card on with like 90 odd pace on FIFA.
Yes.
Isn't he?
Yeah, the 84 inform, the very same.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
He'll be the backup basically. That'll just come in when whenever it's like cup games, rotation or anything like that.
Playing Watford in, well, that's not going to happen next season, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the Carabao Cup striker. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I see my TOTS predictions.
It's an interesting one to say the least.
Anything else on the TOTS before we move on?
No, I think that's pretty much covered most of the players that are in TOTS in some shape or form for the vote. I think we've near enough covered everything to do with either warm up or TOTS itself.
Yep, and well, something today we've got Icon Swaps 3 has come out, so it is looking incredible. This Icon Swaps right now. So if you like doing your packs, there is not 3, there is 4 like versions to be going for. So it gets no longer got the 81, so the 81's been removed now, and it's just the 82, 83, 84. And then 85 plus packs that are in there. 85 times 20 as well, by the way. Like, that on its own is pretty impressive. Yeah. Like, if you... I can't not see that being a disappointing pack. I gotta say, you've got to be getting at least 1 or 2 TOTS in that pack. Surely. Granted, it might not necessarily be the top league. It might be the sub-league for that particular week. EA, don't you? But I think
I know what you mean. Yeah,
you've got to be getting something.
You should get a TOTS.
Yes, yes, exactly.
But it's also that thing of like this year, like because of how the whole year has been, like how the value of TOTS are going to be is going to be really interesting. Because actually, if like they're so popular that pack weight is better, then that could be an insane pack. You could end up like with several in there, because you know, let's get our like tinfoil hat on and say that pack weight is a thing, which we know it definitely, you know, has to be a thing. That, you know, you could maybe, if some of the team of the seasons are 20-30k before or after even we get a team of the season SBC where it's required, then you're talking about potentially you could get 3 or 4 in that pack. And yeah, it's even at the very worst, they'll be very good for Icon Moments SBCs or whatever else EA release around that time.
Or the guaranteed TOTS packs as well, because don't forget they tend to have a requirement of about 86 plus TOTS card in there, so yeah, that will be helpful for that. But the other thing it's a bit of a shame that you never get to see the pack weight odds for those sort of packs, because if anything, I reckon the guaranteed TOTS percentage would be maybe potentially
50%?
Even 40% plus.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah, I'd say 50% on that should be reasonable, because as well, like I say, it's an 85 plus, but there will be some TOTS in there that are probably going to be like 88, 89 rated, isn't there?
Well, yeah, definitely,
so,
even some 87s.
That's the and you would be disappointed with getting them as your first or highest rated player, if you know what I mean, because there's going to be also some banging 92, 93 rated ones that you're going to want to get first or see
and the
rest. Front of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
That's even if they make the front of the pack and it's not like, you know, a gold rare Lewandowski comes out and then the TOTS will sit behind that. Who knows?
Well, what was it? It was with Foot Fantasy, wasn't it? That people were opening 83 times 25s and suddenly they'd see like a normal walkout and be fuming. Yeah. And then right at the end of the pack, or right before the duplicates, is where the Foot Fantasy's then sitting.
Yeah. Happened with Foot Captains as well, I think.
And I think there was another promo that did that as well.
Yeah. Right. They were right at the end of the pack.
Yeah.
I saw a weird one of someone doing it, and it was a duplicate they packed, and it was at the end of the duplicates as well. So it was actually the very last card in the pack, which was just bizarre.
Or when people do the reveals, the very first card you get to see.
But yeah, like I say, Icon Swaps looks incredible. I personally am excited to be able to get my Moments Eto. I've been trying to call him out of many Icon packs that I've done, but unfortunately only been able to pull the likes of Henri. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting Eto and not having to submit Henri into an SBC for him, and I can use that Henri for an SBC somewhere else down the line.
Well, that's it.
You're twisting the dagger like it's Andre Silva. Christ.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. Yeah, I know. I'm trying.
Well, that's it. The players inside of it, they're all Moments except for Hullet, who is 17 tokens. So, Definitely got some good variety of players. Like if, for instance, 5 tokens, you've got Van der Sar. So if you want an end game goalkeeper that you don't have to maybe try and switch to, obviously fit in different leagues. You want somebody that's just nice, simple, perfect. Five tokens means you can do all the packs and get Van der Sar, which is tempted to what I'm probably going to be doing. Or the alternative, if you want to do 18 all packs, is the LAJS, which again I think is good value. So you could get all the packs plus, well, I don't know if he's dropped in value, but he was around 950k like a few days, a week ago or something like that, because I was looking.
He's 720.
How much?
720.
Wow.
He's dropped. So he's dropped then.
I mean, I saw a post today actually from someone that was talking about the players you can get for under $1 million, and there's like the Moments Butragueno. Like, there's no way last year that would have been anywhere near getting to under $1 million.
True.
And he's like
I wouldn't use it because 3-star skills. I don't want to feel handicapped.
Yeah. 94 Zidane.
Yeah, 94 Zidane's actually a shock.
That's crazy. Like, that is 900k, 950k. Like, this is what I mean about the team of the season prices. It's going to be very interesting to see how much they are. I think the only thing that may happen is because there's going to be a lot of untradeable SBCs because people have now got this warm-up series and things to be done. I wonder if that will mean that the tradable ones will just hike a little bit in price because there won't be as many tradable packs being opened, other than obviously your content creators and those that just still want to give EA loads of money.
No, there'll be
so that's
tradable.
The usual people.
Usual people. Yeah.
No, there'll be plenty of tradable versions available because you got to imagine your FUT Champs rewards and stuff still pay out tradable packs. You get the odd like challenge SBCs as well, that marquee matchup. So there's still plenty of opportunity to be trying to pack a tradable version.
True.
So.
And as we talk about FUT Champs and rewards, that does actually lead us quite nicely on to what we're speculating about the red picks and also obviously the packs, because obviously there was a team of the season pack. So now that the way that rewards are and the levels of rewards are a bit different, where is that going to feature? We think potentially rank 6 looking at it, but it might be rank 5. For those that can't get rank 5 just or struggle to get it, where do you think it's going to sit, and what do you think is going to happen with the red picks?
Well, red picks are going to be TOTS regardless, because that's what they do every single year. And the team of the week pack starts at rank 6, doesn't it? So
6,
that's where the TOTS pack will begin, basically. So it'll be the same. Just everything that is team of the week just switches to TOTS. But the biggest question of them all is champs rewards. Obviously you can complete your champs before 6 p.m. and collect your red picks, your team of the week pack, or during team of season pack, and open it up. However, community TOTS starts presumably at 6 p.m. on Friday, and champ starts at 8 a.m. in the morning. So
yes,
what's going to happen in that window? Do they lock it all off? They just say,
think so.
we won't give you your picks and your team and season pack until afterwards? Or are they going to be giving people the red picks, but it ends up being team of the week players and they get a team of the week pack? Like, it just seems very intriguing to how it's going to work. And like every week as well, when a new TOTS comes out, does that mean before 6 p.m. you get that previous week's TOTS? After 6 p.m. you get the fresh week's TOTS? Like, we need like some clarification, but I think EA aren't going to give us that clarification until 6 p.m. probably.
Until it's already too late.
Yeah, basically.
100%.
So it's all intriguing how it's going to pan out. I think they're just going to do what EA do best, which is cock it up and then have to rectify it by giving out double, basically.
Yeah. Which they've done on multiple occasions this year, so why not just do it one more time?
Yeah, exactly. It's EA Sports Canada. They love apologies over in Canada.
Oh, I thought it was.
Is it Switch?
I thought it was EA Sports Birmingham.
Oh, we're making the Birmingham jokes again.
Back to
Okay.
that.
For a
Don't
minute, I
worry,
was like, is it
EFL.
not
Is it not?
Canada? I was fairly sure.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I just assumed it was. Yeah. EA Sports Birmingham.
Well, with EFL TOTS, you probably get to see the Birmingham City.
It's going to be,
player there.
you know, it's a full starting 11 of Birmingham players. I will actually, that would be the best thing I've ever seen.
That would be
that
the
would
greatest
be
April
hilarious.
Fool's joke, just a bit late.
Yeah, it would.
So it'd be more likely May 1st rather than April 1st.
And obviously, I assume you guys will be doing your best to make sure you can get every single champs done during Team of the Season.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. I'll probably still
Have
be
you missed
doing
many
some.
this year?
Oh, many.
One or two, I
Nice.
think. One or two.
two.
Like, out of choice, maybe. Oh, no, actually, I think in the old fashion of qualifying, I probably missed a fair chunk. I think since new 4 wins, 10 games, I don't think I've actually missed one. I said to myself I wasn't going to play champs this weekend, but I ended up doing it. And had my best finish, to be fair. So, guess that it paid out in the end.
It was your psyche. That's what it was.
Yes.
Mm.
And Thierry Henry.
You can see I'm just stuck in the middle of this petty feud, can't you?
We'll sort it all out on an episode soon.
We will. Don't you worry. Good old fashion if
Exactly.
you get Casillas in goal, you know.
Yeah, that's the forfeit for Brad. Oh, sorry, I've guessed your goalkeeper. You can have Casillas.
But I think we will move over to this week in football and the team of the week predictions. Lukey
Yes. So, talking of petty feuds, the Merseyside derby did take place this weekend. So, let's just say it was an interesting game with possibility of red cards for both teams. Richarlison should have got one. People saying Mane should have got one, possibly Trent. And definitely some interesting decisions. Controversial penalty not given. My opinion is it wasn't a penalty. But I digress. Everton came to that game and dedicated that. They were like they were playing champs, let's be honest. And not just where they're going to be next season. They were playing champs in a sense they were wasting time in the first half.
Okay.
They
They were
look at the end of the first half as well.
Pickford just falling over on the ball like it's like you're wasting time in the 80th minute as a goalkeeper or something, where you catch it, you fall down, collapse slow motion. He was doing that in the 45th. It was a spectacle to behold. I won't tell a lie. I did laugh a lot when I saw Alisson do that in response late on. But yeah, a fairly easy 2-0 win come the end of the day. I don't think Liverpool went out too much in the first half. I think they were just pacing themselves, expecting just whatever storm was happening, just play the ball about. Probably expected it from Everton to just sit deep and they'll get them eventually. Man City versus Watford, as the single worst decision I've made is to take Gabriel Jesus out of my fantasy team. That was a atrocious call, considering he scored 4 and assisted 1. So he is guaranteed a team of the week this week. Other games in the Premier League, we have a boring 0-0 between... Well, not boring. Boring for Tottenham. No shots on target for the second straight game. And Brentford obviously deserved to go away with the 3 points, but instead we fortunately pegged them back for a draw, which is worrying to say in a top 4 chase. Talking of top 4 though, Mers, you must be fairly happy with that result. It was a lot more nervy than it looked on paper.
It was.
What are your thoughts on Nuno Tavares at the moment?
Tavares is not filling me with confidence, I gotta say, with his performances. Just wish we could have Tierney, but obviously that's not going to be happening because he's out injured.
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose as long as somehow we can get out the performances, and I can't believe I'm actually going to be saying this, but starting Nketiah in the last 2 games has paid off big time. So yes, maybe that's what we just need to do for the rest of the season, because he certainly is doing what Lacazette hasn't been doing, which is scoring goals and actually putting in a good shift, I would say, up front for Arsenal. But yeah, the performance against Man United wasn't great. Like, it was great to see us score, but then it was like a quick, like, equaliser, cancelling out that. Also, the fact that Bruno missed that. Well, he hit the post, but missing that penalty. Jeez, that was a big help as well. I think, like, CR7 coming into that club.
Is it me as well? Does he not usually do quite that stupid of a run up?
Not quite that stupid, but he still does the hop, skip, and a jump routine.
The hop, skip, and the jump, but he did a little bit of the Pogba shuffle and everything. I don't know what was going on.
It was an odd one.
Whether it was nerves, whether it was, I don't know. It was a bit weird, a bit strange.
Sure, that'll bring me on to something nicely, actually. Talking of the hop, skip, and jump routine. I had it pointed out to me. I think it might have been Goldbridge was saying, or someone said for sure, it might have been Goldbridge, I'm not 100%, but the hop, skip, and jump routine's not worked since lockdown came back. Like, it's been on ice ever since. Jorginho, Euros final, didn't score.
Oh, right, okay.
Jorginho this week didn't score his penalty. Bruno missed against Villa, skying it. Bruno this week hits the post. It seemed to work really well in lockdown, but I don't know if they're getting put off by crowds you wouldn't expect it to be, but maybe that's an influencing factor. They're missing a lot of them nowadays. People are catching on, obviously, in terms of saves, but the Jorginho one this week, I don't know if you saw that. That was abysmal.
No, I haven't.
It is the worst penalty I've seen in a while. And I've seen some bad ones. It is a P roller just to the off centre of the middle. Like, it is a P roller straight at Fabianski, and it's one of those. It's in that spot where if you stand still on FIFA, the keeper doesn't reach it. Yeah. It's that close to the keeper, like the closest it can get to the keeper without them actually touching it. He's done it that close to the keeper, and it's just collapsed on it. Fortunately for Chelsea, there was a goal 2 minutes later. That was a red card as well for Craig Dawson, which you must be happy to hear as well, Mers. Things are coming up Arsenal because you've got West Ham next. So Craig Dawson gone from the defence of West Ham.
Who is the only fit centre-back that was played over the weekend. They had to play Creswell and Ben Johnson at centre-back, like in a back three.
Yeah. So that's very, very good for you in terms of what you'd want to happen.
Yep.
So I don't know whether that's a genuine thing, that the hop, skip, and jump routine, that's not, they're being a bit more phased by the crowd, but it's a pattern.
Yeah, or whether just the pressure generally. Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting.
But
obviously, you do have a lot of people behind goals and things to put you off, but how much attention do they pay to them? I don't know. Maybe noise levels would be affected, obviously, but
it's just how many have gone in, though. The bulk amount of them, like, as I say, the Euros final was Jorginho faltering. Didn't he falter soon after that as well with a different penalty? I feel he missed a couple in World Cup qualifying. I think he missed 2 in World Cup qualifying. He's had a very torrid time with penalties, has Jorginho, this last year.
Yeah, which is surprising because back in the day, like, if there was someone you wanted to take a penalty for you,
you'd go,
he was your man.
Jorginho, hop, skip, and jump.
His conversion rate was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was outrageous. Him and Bruno during lockdown, it just worked. But
yeah,
I don't know. Nowadays, it's just not working. But
now we want Bukayo Saka again.
Yeah, he's scored back to back.
Had a couple of decent penalties. Yeah,
back to back against Chelsea and United. It was a well hit goal from Xhaka. Like, credit to Xhaka on that finish. I'm partially shocked he's not got a mention in the Footbin Team of the Week. I'd have thought he would have possibly had a shout for getting into it, but they've gone for Nketiah on the bench as the Arsenal player of choice. As I say, he has had a good week. Other players, though, to go into other leagues rather than just digressing about Prem constantly, we've got a rumoured card for the headliners upgrade to Dimitri Payet, a card that I love at the moment is FUT captains. Muriel, Awa, Fafana, the Monaco centre mid, to specify. Dan Juma, as we mentioned, Jesus before. Trap to get a headliner upgrades, possibly rumoured.
Is the Hayes? Obviously, I didn't see the game, so the Jesus rumoured on here I see was a right wing. Did they not play him up front then?
I didn't watch the game. I was too busy being upset that I took him out of the team.
I'd find it weird that scoring 4 and assisting 1 that he wasn't playing up front, but
I'm looking at
before,
I'm looking at the Premier League app and the lineups. It's showing him classed as a midfielder and Jack Grealish up top, which I don't want to doesn't make sense.
I've seen that they've been playing Foden down the centre, but not Grealish.
Let me have a look at the.
That Sky Sports shows the same.
So Grealish striker. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I haven't seen match of the day yet to see where they showed the lineup at the start of the game, so it'd be interesting. And hey, if any of you guys do know on the YouTube video side of things, drop a comment down below, let us know. But yeah, it seems weird. Another right wing card for him, which, you know, is, I'm not saying it's not as a bad thing. It's just interesting, given that he scored 4 and assisted 1.
It is interesting, but I will say he's already got special cards at striker as well, so it's not that big a deal with the versus fire and ice cards.
Yes.
So he's already got special strikers. He's already got special right wings. Wherever he naturally played in real life, I assume it would be right wing based off of.
They probably are better.
Depends which one on what thing. I think one of them's got 91 shooting compared to this predicted 89, but remember they messed about like a stat by like 3 or 4 on his card that time. But back to maybe the last remaining cards from the team of the week that would pique interest. It is rumoured to be a headliner Salah and a Robertson in form for the performances, I assume, against, what was it? Who would have been against? Was it United? Was United this week?
It won't be the Everton game, will it?
Yeah, it was United this week. Okay. Cool. They had to be, let's be honest. And then Dumfries being the other one that's the main starter. Apart from that, it's fairly meh. You've got Os Campos on the bench, but outside of that, it's very much a starting 11 team of the week, and even then, you won't be too fussed about most of them. Because team of the season's going to be out.
I mean, come Friday, no one's going to care anymore.
Let's be honest, come Wednesday, most people won't care for anything not named Salah, or maybe Robertson.
But hey, if you do decide to open your team of the week packs early, because you know you're probably going to get refunded some team of the season packs, then there's some of the players you might be able to get.
Q&A time is it then, boys?
Believe so.
Q&A.
Right, let me get the questions up. In fact, we'll start off with Venom's question, because this is directly targeted to you, Brad, because me and Luke have already given our opinions through streams. So it is, who do you think is better, Alisson or Jose Sarr this season? So this is just based off of this season's performances. I think this is mainly to do with like who deserves the team season card more, basically.
Yeah. So if that is it, that is who deserves the team of the season card more, then I unfortunately don't think that they're the top 2 to choose from. I think, like I say, for me, De Gea has been more of a saviour to Man United than, you know, to stop them from conceding loads. So I would say that he would be in with a shout before Jose Sarr for me. Mm-hmm. But we did sort of just touch on this a little bit beforehand. I think Jose Sarr has stepped into some very credible shoes that were left by Patricio, and he has done it very, very well. I don't think that means by any stretch that he is better than Alisson or deserves the team of the season more than Alisson. And as I said, I don't actually think that Alisson will get it. I think it will be the
Manchester duo.
The goalkeeper that wins
will be from Manchester.
That wins the league, and it'll be Manchester City. Yeah. So it'll be Alisson. But
in
terms of who I think who is better, then I have to go with Alisson just based on, you know, their league position, and you can't really, unless they were both playing for the same side or the same country, I can't really give more of an accurate answer on that.
That's fair. What I will say is, as another thing then, if you don't think Jose Sarr should be in based off of performance, do you think that a Wolves defender like Connor Cody should have been in at least a community vote? Because about to say he's not got an inform. I don't think he's ever had. I'm trying to remember the last time he had a special card. I don't
Connor
remember
Cody's
them.
got special card this year, hasn't he?
Has he? It's Connor Cody?
I think he's got a man of match or an inform or something like that. Just the one, because obviously the community tots is one or less performance-based cards. So I'm pretty sure Cody's had one.
He's got an inform.
I thought he's got an inform.
He's got one inform. I think based off the clean sheets and the defensive performance, I think Wolves deserve more than one mention in a team of the season. Like Neves has got a mention, yes, but I think their quality's been defensively this season as a unit.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's not anything from there is a bit. Yet you see a Bruno Fernandes make it. Obviously, it's not a defender. The defenders were fairly
that is
okay.
More surprising than anything, isn't it?
I'd say the defenders were fine, but yeah, some of the midfield could maybe mainly Bruno Fernandes though. Yes, even United fans
that's the big one.
Even United fans would be very against that.
Yes,
especially after the last game, as we mentioned.
Next question is coming from Kofta, I believe it was. Where is it? Oh no, it's Venom again. What's the most painful discard you have ever done? So, I've done loads of discards, so I think my rap sheet could be quite a big one right here. But obviously, because we do the collab series, so budget builder face off. There we go. Heated head to head and foot eliminator.
Either would have worked.
Your wallet.
Yeah,
your wallet takes the hit.
Yeah.
Yes. That we've discarded a fair few players between ourselves. So, who's the most painful then? So, I think my wife making me discard stuff is definitely painful. Kaka.
Is that because she doesn't fully appreciate like what she's done?
Oh no, she appreciates it, what she's done, inflicting pain
Just like
on me.
Your pain.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I think Kaka, Prime Kaka last year, or even Foot Freeze Nabry, those two were like key elements of my teams at the time, and they got sent down to goodbye to heaven.
I think for me, it's not. I can't think offhand at the moment what my monetary value side of things is, but for me it's, and as Luke will know about this, it's discarding a player I haven't even been able to use yet. So on multiple occasions I've discarded the player that we're doing the series episode on.
Politano.
Politano for one. Klaus this year. The headline is Klaus.
Last year was. Last year I was hitting them like for fun.
Yeah,
like Correa. It was the road to the final Correa. It was someone else because it wasn't even the episode player. It was just the untradables.
It's the thing. Like you got to think. Like the headline is Klaus has had some serious upgrades since, and so they're the things. And Politano as well. Politano's had upgrades, and has turned into a good card. So, like they're the things that hurt me more. Is cards that I can't get back. You can always get coins to get players, but you can't get back unless they happen to be in a campaign player pick, your SBC players. So that they're more painful for me than coins at all. And like I say, this year so far it's been Politano and Klaus.
I'm trying to notably think of players that I've discarded down years. It's a struggle to think of players. I know I had to discard a team of the season Kimmich 2 years ago with I'm trying to think of others. Job, one that never made camera actually. I did say this the other day. Which of the other two? It was one of you two. I can't remember who it was with. I ended up having to discard a icon Roy Keane, and I can't remember which one of you it was with. But the footage never went to where.
It was me.
It was you. About to say I could not remember for the life of me when I was telling this story the other day. But yeah, it was meant. I was gonna buy the moments, and I decided no, I'll buy the base. And yeah, he got hit, and the footage didn't even go live, which hurts even more.
No, I can't remember. Was it corrupt?
I'm pretty certain it corrupted.
Yeah.
It just Yeah,
because I remember
that
we were
wasn't
trying
fun.
to say about trying to somehow include it in the, because I think we did re-record
We
and
did.
we were talking about trying to include it as part of the episode, but yeah, it wasn't salvageable. It was gone.
It's flat out gone. So that's probably my most painful one in terms of it might not have been as much as Team of the Season Kimmich, but
Yeah.
it absolutely hurt that I didn't even get a video from it. So
Yeah.
it hurt on two
yeah.
fronts.
Next question. The typical GH style question right now, so brace yourselves, guys. Right.
Okay.
Starts off very odd question. Cyclists and F1 racers swap for
goodness.
one race. So the F1 racers will do the Tour de France and the cyclists will do an F1 weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They get a little bit of training. Just think this would be interesting to see. What do you think? Obviously, if they need to stop to ensure they don't get an injury that will hinder their seasonal career, they can do. I mean, okay, sure. But it seems a very odd question, to be fair. And
Insanely odd.
Seems a bit of a weird choice of picking those two sports, in my opinion. Like, they're not even, like, similar. It's like a motorsport, and I would consider Tour de France an endurance sport, basically.
Yeah.
Because obviously
Yeah.
they're
So
doing...
what was the actual question part? Was it, do you think it would be interesting?
Yes, basically. To, like, see them swap for the day. No. Because
The
they
F1
won't be very
drivers
good.
naturally, the F1 drivers naturally are doing stuff like cycling. They keep in very good fitness anyway, so it would be like watching a slightly slower version of the Tour de France, but they'd still be good, and you'd be watching a bunch of untrained drivers more than likely drive around a circuit for.
Yeah.
Very
I mean, you
slowly.
might see a lot of crashes, but then that would be the stop the injury sort of. You'd probably see it sort of red flag from the get go.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's interesting. No.
See, I would have said a better comparison or swap would be picking similar sports, basically. So, like, F1 drivers swap with rally car drivers.
Yes, that would be more interesting.
Or cyclists with marathon runners, because they're both, like, endurance sports. That would...
Yeah, there you go, George. Why is that not your question?
That would have made more sense. But picking a motorsport with an endurance sport, it would be almost like saying... would you like to see some taekwondo fighters playing football match for the day? Like,
I mean, they both kick well.
They both kick well. Well, yeah, but there'd be
Yeah,
probably a lot of red
it
cards.
might be like red card soccer if ever you guys remember that game. I used to love that game.
No,
I mean, I can only assume what it's like.
It's brilliant.
But yeah, another sort of like weird one from GH. There was another one. It was put in a different section, not in the... yes. This is the good debate one. I think we've all got the same answer anyway, unfortunately. So I don't think it's going to be the too off the cusp, this one. So basically, it's to do with the meals of the day. So what do you call them, basically? So, you know...
Oh, yes, I did actually see this one.
So obviously...
I asked for a bit of clarification.
Yes, so some people
Timings.
obviously call it breakfast, dinner, supper, and stuff
Breakfast,
like
dinner,
that.
tea is the one it's called.
Yeah.
Is what they call it.
Then obviously breakfast, lunch, dinner, etc. Or if you wanted to add more meals, there are more meals in a day, but the key main three of the day, basically. So, what do you call your three meals of the day?
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Ding, ding, ding. Move on.
Easy as that, basically.
Simply,
yeah.
but no massive arguments here.
Yeah, that is
The
exactly
thing is, as
what it
well,
is.
the thing is, as well, is I feel like it's more that way even more now because of how popular afternoon tea has become. And like, if you think about an afternoon tea isn't what you would have as a dinner. It's sandwiches and cakes, yeah.
Yes.
Which is essentially a lunch food.
Yes.
So, in that sense, it's not. I'm not even talking about timings. Talking about the actual thing that you have for food. I'm not about to have sandwiches and cake for my meal that comes after 5 p.m. ish, whatever.
Well, I will.
I'm having it.
For the interest of debate, I'll bring up the usual argument I hear from my northern friend Brandon, who says, "Oh, you don't call them dinner ladies, or you do call them dinner ladies. You don't call them lunch ladies." That's what he normally says, something like that, with that sort of an accent.
Okay. Yeah.
That's his argument, but you do see them called lunch ladies as well from time to time. So even then,
But that's where I think the confusion comes in, because at schools you have a hot meal at lunchtime, basically, in schools predominantly. If you're having, that's if you're not taking in a packed lunch or something like that. But if you're having like what is served at the school, it's predominantly a hot meal. It's basically a dinner time meal, but just served at lunchtime. So like that's what my kids sometimes have. So are you saying you wouldn't have
hot food at lunch?
It depends on the item. Like, I'll have a hot sausage roll, or
what, on the side of your lunch? Don't know about you, mate, but I eat more than that.
Well, no, you have sausage roll, you packet crisps and stuff like that. Yes, there's multiple things, but in terms of, you're saying a hot thing, like I can have a pot noodle, that's hot, but you know, but it's not a dinner item. It's a lunch item or a snack item or something like that. But yes, I can have hot things, but I don't have a hot meal unless it's a Sunday, maybe when I have.
You might have a jacket potato or something.
A Sunday lunch with the roast dinner at 1 o'clock. But
yeah, so is that a roast dinner or is that a roast lunch?
That's a roast dinner.
And when do you have it usually?
1 o'clock. But that's the only exception to the equation.
Only exception, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the only exception to the equation, and Christmas days and stuff. But yeah, but I will have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have a lunchtime, dinner time, dinner at dinner time, basically. So yeah. So
my follow-up question to this, because this is something that I used to do growing up, but don't ever do now. Does anyone do supper anymore?
Not much, no.
No.
So I used to, like when I was a kid, like I used to like maybe sort of 8 o'clock, something before bed. I used to have a bit of toast before I went to bed. But generally now we don't. Like me and the missus would sometimes we sit down to watch something in the evening, and we tend to have a treat, so like some popcorn or a dessert. But that's because we're watching TV and we're sitting there chilling. And actually, it's if we're having a dessert, it's because we didn't have the dessert with our dinner. So it's not like we're having two lots of dessert. So technically it's not supper, it's just we've delayed the time of our dessert. But yeah, I just wondered, because I did used to have supper as a kid quite a lot. Just something seemed to have been phased out in my older years.
Yeah, that's as simple as that. Basically, I think that's what my oldest is the only one that really has something late in the day. The others don't really have something. And if I have something late in the day, I just call it a late evening or late night snack, basically.
Snack.
Yeah. That's it.
I think that's it. I think it's tend to have been replaced with snack, so that snack can be generalised as being everywhere in the day.
Pretty much.
And I think there's plenty of time to get one more question in. So Roman has asked, what league TOTS will be good that aren't the top 5 leagues? So to answer, I'd say all of them personally, maybe, except for maybe the EFL, because that's a bit harder to maybe like link between like all the players, basically. Whereas in like Liga NOS, it's got to start in 11 probably. So essentially, if you wanted to for a bit of fun, you could use all of them. Like I would say, normally there's decent cards in every single non-top 5 leagues. I presume you guys agree. Maybe you disagree. What do you two say?
I know what you mean, because I don't know when if you're talking about a team, like as in, so the full league of players, there's not often a full league, but yeah, every single TOTS I think throws up a player that is certainly interesting. Like I did actually get a sneak peek at this question over the weekend before coming back from my weekend away, and the one card that sprung to mind for me, who features in the rest of the world TOTS, is Orsic. Always has a phenomenal card when he gets his TOTS, and you know is quite often used as a super sub.
Yes.
So in that sense, I think like there's a lot of players in different TOTS. I don't think there's a league specifically. I just think a lot of the other leagues have a card that you'll look at and you'll think that's great. Like even the CSL, although it's not as like prominent this year as it has been in previous years, I think there will still be a card in there that you'll see has got like 5-star, 4-star on it and looks insane.
Well, dare I ask who's even there? Oscar's
Fellaini, there, yeah.
That's about it.
Oh, Big Marwan.
I love his 85.
Imagine he gets a TOTS.
His 85's insane, but or at least it was. I haven't tried it in about 2 3 months, but
And the thing is around them, isn't it? Like now we're at a point where there's been so many icon SBCs, I should know, that we're now sort of, most people will be able to fit one of them in, even if it's on like 8 chemistry. So there's plenty of players that could get used from those different leagues. But nothing that in my head, like you said, the other one that maybe stands out a little bit because of how good some of the special cards have been this year would be the Eredivisie. Like seeing a Gravenberch TOTS this year would be interesting. I'd like to see if there was to be one, a David Neres TOTS card.
He's no longer in the
like,
he went to Shakhtar.
Oh yeah, he's gone, hasn't he? Yes.
Yes. It'll be Anthony more likely.
Yeah. Just to see what those cards look like, even to see what Zahavi looks like as a TOTS card. Because obviously he's got a fairly alright looking player of the month card. So as a TOTS, I'd be interested to see what it looks like.
I mean, we'll say Seb Haller because that's the one that should get it as the striker. He should be the shoe-in.
Yeah.
He should be an absolute shoe-in.
Yes. I think that's probably it. I think if it's any league, predominantly it's always the Eredivisie that probably sticks out the most out of the non-top 5 leagues.
There's many a card that I've loved down the years from the Eredivisie. Whether it was Wijnaldum, Depay, that sort of time in FIFA, I'm going to say 15. Yeah, Van der Beek's ones from probably FIFA 19 onwards.
Yeah.
FIFA 20 onwards. We'll say
Jong.
19. De Jong, De Ligt.
Yeah.
And there's been quite a few down the years. Dumfries, I believe, had one. Irving Lozano's ones year on year.
Yeah.
There's many a player.
Yes.
We're missing out many. But
Many players. There's
Luke De Jong.
Lozano?
I said Lozano.
Yes.
That was
Lozano.
literally the one I said beforehand.
There's been loads.
Yeah. So there you go. That's probably the final answer then, is the Eredivisie. But all of them are nice. Like if you want to have a bit of something different, easy can have anything. All of the leagues, in my opinion. But yeah, Eredivisie sticks out the most. But that is going to be it for the Q&A this week. Thank you, everybody, for submitting your questions. Submit them whenever you like in Discord. If you're not in our Discord, link is down in the description down below. So feel free to copy and paste that or click on it. And you can join our Discord and submit questions at any point in the week. And hopefully we will try and answer them in the following episode. But that is it. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Luke, Brad, thank you for participating in this week's episode. It is a little bit shorter this week as well. We've been having quite long episodes, like say
efficient,
since that solo episode by Luke.
Yeah. Setting an example,
Yes. But yeah, so make sure to check out all other FSB content on our YouTube channel, like the draft, Pack to the Future. Pack to the Future's taken a week off because there isn't realistically any content, but it'll definitely be back for TOTS. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like during TOTS. And we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
Peace out.
Bye.